Hey everybody, it is Marley K coming to you in distress. I'm grieved. I'm tired. Um, and I didn't come to y'all last week because I've been going through a lot of stuff. Not really a lot of stuff, but more so just preparing. What I've been telling people to do for the last probably like 5, 6 years, and people haven't done that, and so I'm just looking around now, and folks are just now the light bulb is coming on now. I want to prep, so let me preface some stuff. So that flag that y'all see back there, that flag came from my sister when she retired from the military. She served 24 years. She went in when she got out of, she didn't graduate from college, her freshman year in college. If you know anything about my mom, just our life, it was rough. And so she was the first to go off and stay in college on campus. And I'll just say, in the nicest of terms, my mother was not supportive. She didn't help us do anything. So the military was a way for my sister to support herself. And not long after she got into the military, she got pregnant, she married. So she's traveled the world, but because of the type of MOS she had, she only had a few jobs that she could do. And, she did those jobs well. But in the process, I've helped her raise her children because sometimes she had to leave to go off to war. And so when she retired, she let me know, and we don't really have a good relationship with my mom. So me and my brother we flew out, and we were there when she went in. She went into the military when she graduated from basic training. We went. And so I said, I'm gonna see you out, sis. And so we went and we saw her out, and we went to her ceremony. And so I didn't know she was going to give me anything. She gave me a certificate, and that flag actually flew on a fighter jet from one of the conflicts that she was a part of. So that's why I have that back there, because I understand the sacrifices that people who do serve um, make. And as a family member of somebody who served, I have a huge family, and a lot of men and women have served in my family. I didn't serve, but they did. And so I understand what that sacrifice is. And not that I have, I'm not patriotic, but I do understand that when you take that oath and go in, what you do. And so that flag is what that it's the reason that the flag is back there, because that was something that my sister gave to me when she graduated. I'm sorry, not graduated, when she retired from the military, because we have been a family. It takes a family sometimes when you have a family, and you're trying to raise kids. Sometimes they had to stay with me for a year, 6 months here, 6 months there, and it was you know traumatic. But I'm the glue that kind of holds the family together. I'm big mama, except I'm not that old. So um, I'm saying all this to say, all the years that my sister has been in the military, in the Air Force, she's never told me I should be concerned. And so when I saw this stuff popping off with Ukraine and Russia, anytime Russia is in the discussions, I'm like, hey, it's the time. Then do I need to worry? And so this last week, I was like, sis, should I be concerned? And I sent her a text message, and she said, yep. And so my heart just sank, and I was like, oh my gosh, here we are, been prepping and talking to people and writing about it and trying to get people, tweeting, hey, y'all need to do, because I have seen what's coming down the pipe. And I know we are not ready. And I know that a lot of our people are going to perish because we are not ready. And so I have been extremely emotional. Um, so I haven't been on social media a lot. I'll come in, come out, and just things have been happening. But my soul is grieved because I understand what is coming and I know our people are not ready. And I'm just really concerned. So, I just want to come talk to you because, this war in Ukraine, it's a world war. It's already started. And you know, I'm not picking sides. I could tell you America, if the world, if you watch American news and you watch mainstream media, you think, America is the best thing since sliced bread. We on the job. And when you watch international news, when you watch news from India and Russia and other parts of the country, Africa, the UK, you get a totally different vibe. And so you get to understand how we've lost our standing in the world. Like the people in the world do not respect us. They expect us to come and continue to be the world police. But people are also recognizing that our day as an empire is coming to an end. It's probably already ended, and people don't realize that in America. And so, I was having a conversation on Twitter maybe a week or two ago, and I was reading about, Russia was preparing their people for war, and they told their people to prepare for a year. They told them to prepare. And I don't know what they tell their people because I don't live in Russia. I don't have any Russian friends. I don't know. But I know the word got out, y'all need to prepare. In November of 2021, China told their people they need to prepare for war and prepare for a year. They need to stockpile food and supplies for an entire year. That was back in November. We have been in America and we have not heard one word. We all up in the mix of war, and yet we have not heard one word about getting prepared for war. Nobody has told you to stockpile food. Nobody told you to get medicine. Nobody told you to try to, figure out how you're going to survive nuclear war. And all the while, Putin is like, I'm gonna do this to y'all. You West, you better not get in. If you do, you're gonna pay. The American people gonna feel like, um, and I don't know if you know anything about dealing with those type of strong men or abusive people, or I don't know, whatever you want to call Putin. Putin could be Trump, any strong person in the earth right now who has some power and money. Um, one thing about these people is they don't have a sense of danger. Like they don't care or understand how other people um, are in danger and how they are endangering them. So, Putin is a strategic, petty man. He's petty and volatile. I won't say as volatile, not as volatile and emotional as Donald Trump. Donald Trump is very emotional and petty, but Putin is a whole other level of, of leader. And so when you understand the mind and egos of people like that, you don't take those types of people for granted. Everybody is like, oh, Ukraine is winning, and everybody's coming to help Ukraine. What we don't understand is how many years. Like I keep trying to tell people, Russia plays the long game. Russia has been playing the long game for a long time. Russia helped to destabilize America from the inside simply using our weaknesses and faults that we already have. So you talk about misinformation or whatever. Yeah, Putin might have had some trolls come in and say some stuff and stir up some things, and he hired some people on the inside and used our own politicians and so on and so forth. But all those seeds that he had sown were already here. And so he used our divisions and our deficiencies nationally to bring us down. And so, people don't give these other countries enough credit for being able to peek out our weaknesses. And so that's what when you're in war, that's what you do. Most of war is strategy thinking. How am I going to beat my opponent? And when you have somebody like America who has so many weapons, so many people, so much land, so many military bases across the world, so many strategic partners, it's hard to beat them. So you have to play the long game. And so backdoor, roundabout way, Russia has basically checkmated everybody. And yeah, right now it seems like, they're not doing good, or, the other thing about what's happening in Ukraine is like the people are having to fight. A lot of people fled, but a lot of people's like, I ain't going nowhere. This is my home. I'm Give me a gun. I'm going to fight. You got women and, people in groups making Molotov cocktails so they could throw at soldiers, and, people standing at home ready to protect their land because they love their country. People here are not paying attention to anything that is happening in right now in this moment. So I'm concerned because, one, we all are, oh, I don't like firearms, I would never. Well, damn it, do pay attention to what's happening in Ukraine, because everybody might have to take up arms, because we don't even understand um how much uh, property Russia owns. The connections are far and wide. And the same with China. You have China and India aligned with Russia because this new world order is happening through this war, whether we want to admit it or not. And so what we have to realize is that things are changing and they're going to impact us. And so you think now, because you can flip your lights on, you can go to the grocery store, your check in the bank, you can go to the ATM and get money. Look at what is happening overseas. People are stuck and can't leave. The stores are closed. There's nothing available. There's no money in the ATM machines. You can't get no money. Um, the banking system is shut down in Russia. So, people in Russia don't have any money. Their money is worthless now. If they didn't stock up and listen to him when he was saying, hey, you need to get ready for war, those people are pissed out of luck. Um, and same with Ukraine. You just look at it, they're having to deal with cyber warfare. They're dealing with weapons in their land because nobody's blowing up Russia. People fighting in Ukraine. So their country is literally being destroyed. Innocent civilians are dying. There are food shortages. People are having to sleep underground, outside. People are getting killed in their cars trying to escape. I'm sure you've seen the videos online of the Africans over there trying to get to Poland and other places, and the racism is abound. The Africans are not allowed to get on the trains because they're not Polish, or they're not Ukrainian. Um, and so all these things are happening at once, and that doesn't, we're still in the midst of a pandemic. Um, we are dealing with food shortages in stores, and inflation. Gas is going up. Food is expensive. And then we're getting threats. People don't know what's going to happen. And so all this stuff I've been talking about for years, where people need to prep, you know, I don't know how much time you're going to have to prep. I just don't, because the moment, Putin decides he's going to do whatever, we are out of luck. Our government not going to tell us. They wouldn't even tell us to wear a damn mask for months before, people, they finally admitted that the virus was airborne and the people need to put a mask on. People have been wearing masks all over the rest of the world before we told our people. Like, I don't really understand how people are still walking around so lackadaisical. Sorry, lackadaisical. And I don't understand how, people are just still acting like it's just another day. We are in the midst of World War III. And World War III is going to be fought in not just Ukraine, it's going to be fought all over the globe. This is a global fight. And so and we're globally connected. Money is globally connected. Our food systems are globally connected. Our security is globally connected. Technology is connecting us. So at the drop of a dime, somebody in another country can hack our power grids and we not have power. Do you have candles? Do you have flashlights? Do you have a plan on how to heat your house if you live someplace where it's cold? I'm in Florida, so I don't have to worry about that. But what do you have in your house if you live someplace where it's cold? Are you prepared? Do you have a generator? Um, and even if you do have a generator, do you want to have your generator running when World War III and the purge is happening? People running around who didn't get their stuff going to be trying to look for somebody's stuff to steal. So, do you have home protection? Because push comes to shove, it's going to be some people out here fighting to protect their property, but it's going to be some people out here not not good people because they didn't do what they were supposed to do for the last couple of years when people have been screaming, hey, y'all better prep. Do you have extra food in your house? Are you prepared to eat? If you don't have power, can you feed your children? Do you have dry goods? Because having a freezer full of food is nice, but if you can't cook it because you don't have power, it's useless. So do you have dry goods, things that you can eat without power? Um, do you have your bug out bag packed? Do you have things that you can put in the bug out bag? Do you have first aid kit? Do you have shoes so you can fight? Do you have shoes so you can run? Do you have a method to, move in case you can't get gas? Um, do you have money um, that you pulled out an ATM so just in case you need to buy something, there is no power. Maybe there's a store that has a generator and can accept cash. Um, do you have money that other forms of payment like cryptocurrencies? Do you have silver coins? Do you have gold in case you need to buy, um, stuff? And our money is worthless. You see, the ruble is worth less than 1 cent. As of yesterday, I don't know what it is today, but yesterday those people money wasn't worth nothing. And in Russia, that could happen here in a heartbeat. This is like World War III, the beginning of it, and we don't know what is going to happen. America is leading the way in these sanctions, and you know, I don't know the mind of um, Putin. I don't know what's happening, but what I do know is seems to be the type of person who don't start shit unless he can finish it. And one thing I know about street people, because I have been one, is you're scrapping and you can't count them out. They are they're gonna figure out a way to survive, and they're not gonna take a L. And even if they do take an L, they coming back because that's what they do. And so I want us to be prepared. Take this serious. Do not sit around and think somebody's coming to rescue you because ain't nobody coming to rescue you. Nobody's coming to bring you water. You see how those white people in Ukraine, you call them Ukrainian, they're European, I don't care what you call them. You see how white people are treating those those Africans, Ukrainian and the Polish people. Nobody wants black people. You are always going to be seen as a refugee if you flee and you're black. And if something happens in those places, wherever you want to flee to, they're going to treat you the same way. You're not native. You're an expat. You're a visitor. You're a student. You're something else, but you're not white and you don't have blonde hair and blue eyes. So you are always going to be viewed as less valuable. So what black people need to do is figure out your connections, develop your freedom cells, develop your networks, get your people together, have a conversation about what you're going to do, in case of an emergency, in case this war pops off. I hope people are trying to figure out how you live. Um, if you're exposed to radiation, or what happens if, um, you know, uh, nuclear warheads are landing in your area, depending on where you live. If you live in a rural place, you may be fine. But I live in Florida, South Florida, and I know that weapons are aimed here. So what am I going to do? I don't live close to a military base, but I live close to an air reserve base, and I know that air reserve base is um, used to defend our territory. So, like, I know where the bases are because my husband was retired military, so we went to a lot of military bases here. He was retired. Um, so I know where I am. I know the risk for me, and so I'm prepared for all the risk. I'm prepared to, you know, plastic up my windows and cover up my vents and stay indoors and not use, water. If if you're if you're exposed to, uh, a nuclear explosion or some type of warhead explodes, like, are you prepared? Do you have water in your house? Because you may not be able to use the water. How are you going to? You could flush your toilet, but how can you, you can't drink that water. So do you have bottled water in your house that you can cook with, wash with, eat with? Um, you know, these are things that our people just are not thinking about. Everybody's thinking about what I can do. I have a friend, she's still running around buying Jordans and shit for her son's birthday. And I was like, do y'all have some fucking boots? Because y'all might have to get in the street and huff it. Oh, you're just exaggerating. I think you're over exaggerating. Everybody thinks the people who prep are over exaggerating until they need the prep supplies. And then it's, oh, thank you, I'm so glad. I'm telling you, prep. If you haven't been prepping, if you have been prepping and you need to top off some new stuff, figure out what you need to survive off of, if you're exposed to nuclear waste, or bad air radiation. And you got iodine drops. Do you have plastic boots? Boots and disposable stuff. Because you gotta have your skin covered. You have masks for your face so you don't inhale. Um, you know, uh, poison, gas, radiation. Like, if somebody is threatening you with nuclear weapons, what part are you not getting? They are serious. And this is war. It's not tic-tac-toe. It's not hopscotch. This is war. And for people who have not been in or if you don't come from a military family, if you've not ever been exposed to war, if you've never heard of war, there's nothing nice about being in a war. There's not anything nice about having to boot up and fight in a war. It's just not what you want. And you don't want to be unprepared. You see those people walking the street with the suitcases and babies and nobody got food, because people didn't prepare. You either prepare to hunker down and stay, or you should have been prepared to leave if you were going to flee. Um, I'm not fleeing. This is my home. And one thing that I have learned is, when you flee, people don't have respect for you. You get treated any kind of way. So I don't want to flee. I'm prepared to fight for my property. I'm prepared to fight for my family. I'm prepared to ride or die with my freedom cell. Um, I'm just prepared to do what I gotta do. I'm not gonna let anybody just roll up on me. But, like, the main thing I want to say is, like, this is peak white supremacy. We are collateral. We're gonna be collateral damage because white men got issues, and they want to conquer. They didn't conquer all the black shit. Now they need to conquer white people. And, one reason I'm really not concerned as much about what's going on is because it's white people fighting about white people shit. It's not, stuff is happening in Africa. Pay attention to the destabilization of Latin America Africa. America's been bombing places and destabilizing governments. It's all intentional. This chaos is intentional. And it's all the more reason to prep, because all these supply chains, all these places, everybody gonna start becoming tribal and protect their own. Countries are not gonna export their stuff to us because they want to have stuff for their own people. Every country is gonna be trying to figure out how they're going to survive. And because we live in a country with 50 states, we are going to uh, um, have the same issue. States are going to become territorial and not send their exports out, and you're going to have regions that are going to become territorial. So if you live to a port, close to a port, you may be okay. If you live far from a port, you may not be okay. If you live in a rural area, you may not get supplies. You may get supplies last. You may have to travel more. Get to Costco, get to Walmart, get to Sam's Club, get to your grocery wholesaler. Even if you have to pay for a membership, it's worth it in this hour, because if you have not been prepping, you're not going to be able to prep for what's coming over the next couple of days and weeks. It's just too much. I've spent years prepping, buying, shovels and chainsaws and um, generators, collecting candles, having tools and medical supplies, masks. It takes a long time, and especially when you're just a regular old working person and you don't have a lot of money. But it takes a long time to collect that stuff. So you're not going to catch up, but you need to have stuff in your house for if the lights are on, you need to have drinking water. So you need to have food, water, medicine in a way to light your house so that you can see what's going on should you not have any power. You may not have internet, so you may need to have a way to communicate. And you don't have to go out and buy a whole bunch of technology. A lot of people online talking about prepping and solar this and solar that, but we did not have that shit back in the 60s and 70s. When the power went out, you just didn't have no power. If you had gas, you need heat, you cook and use your gas stove and you turn your gas on. If you didn't have gas, electricity, you just didn't have nothing. You go outside and you get on your barbecue grill and you barbecue and you heat your water and you do whatever you need to do in your cast iron pots. Make sure you have cast iron stuff because you may have to cook outside. Or you may have to go to a park. Sometimes people have to go to the park and barbecue because they don't have a grill. Have charcoal because there may not be charcoal in the store. You have to be creative with what you have and your resources. But if you don't have critical thinking skills, you're going to be in trouble. And at this juncture, I'm sorry to say that if you have not prepped, it's really unfair for you to call and ask people a whole bunch of questions while they are trying to prep, because that person had been warning you for a long time about getting ready and you didn't do what you were supposed to do. So, for me, I've been warning people, I've been telling people, and I'm telling you, people who are in the military have told me I need to be worried. I'm telling you, you need to be concerned. This is not a time to say, "Oh, it's Monica. She's just talking like she always talk." I've been telling you this for years because I have seen this, and I'm gonna try to give you a biblical story to compare it to. Um, Noah and the ark. Noah got the word that a storm was coming, was going to flood, and he needed to build an ark to protect the animals, his food, and his family, and whoever wanted to come. And people thought Noah was crazy. And Noah built that ark and he made it big and he did it, met all the specifications the dream told him. He did not know. He just had a vision because he was in tune and understood his spirit man talking to him. He followed the instructions, and when the rain came, he loaded up the animals And the people that was following him and believed what he was saying and understood what he was saying, and he closed that door and he did not open it. And when it started flooding, that boat lifted and it went on about his business and it floated, and he protected all the animals and the little bit of people that was on there. And after the flood waters receded and the boat landed, they started all over again. That is what prepping is like. And people who don't listen. I have been preaching for 5 years. Some people have been preaching for 10 years about get ready for the state, because you could see slowly but surely where the world was going to. And so now here we are, except for instead of it just being a national incident, now we're globally connected because the powers that be have connected us globally. But this is not working. This system isn't working. So it has to be dismantled in order for it to, the new order to come about. And so now people are fighting for what that order is going to be. Is it going to be the order that America and the West or the European countries pick? Or is it going to be this new order with Russia and China and India and Africa and some of the other countries who are tired of white European Western rule? And so what you're getting ready to see is a flex. It's a power flex. And it's not just going to be Russia. It's going to be a lot of stuff happening. But if you don't pay attention to international news, you're not going to know what's going on. If you don't pay attention to, finance news, you won't know what's going on. If you don't pay attention to politics, you won't know what's going on. If you don't have discernment and you don't understand what is happening with these lying politicians, you will not understand what is happening. If you do not understand white supremacy, you are not going to understand what is happening in this hour. And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to keep telling you, these two books you need to read: A Compensatory Counter-Racist Code by Neely Fuller Jr. And hold it up so you can see it. Get this book and read it, because this book, and I will say this, it's not really meant for white people. Um, it's really meant for non-white people. But if you want to read it, go ahead if you into anti-racism. But you need to understand what is happening in the world. And if you are white and you follow me, um, you are part of the problem. So um, all the things that are happening in the world is because of colonization. Basically, white people have colonized everything on earth, and people are miserable. People are starving. This system is not working, and people are just tired. So people are trying to break out of these old relationships and reestablish something new. And you have a group of rich white elites. You have these other corrupt leaders. Like, no, at the end of the day, nobody really has our best interest. And I will say that. So we all have to be prepared individually and in our little small groups to survive whatever is coming. And that means you should have been having your seeds in the ground and starting your stuff. You should have stuff to grow stuff in your house. Even if you don't have grow lights or whatever, you should at least be able to have, little starter kits so you can start seedlings, so you can put stuff out in the ground in case you can't, buy food. Um, I don't know if you're paying attention to what's happening with meat, but it's a lot of things going on with meat. And, you may not be able to get meat. You like pork and chicken. Chicken have chicken flu now, or bird flu and SARS or whatever they have, and they're destroying chicken. So chicken is going to go up in addition to inflation, and it's going to be harder to get. Beef, same thing. I read an article the other day. Bill Gates wants us to eat green beef grown in a petri dish starting next year. I ain't eating nothing that man makes, period. I'm not. He is a computer man, and that's all I'm going to see him for. He is not a doctor. He is not a scientist. I don't care how much shit he funds. I'm not listening to what he say, period. It's just my 2 cents. In this hour, you have to be discerning. And so you should be preparing how you're going to live, how you're going to eat, not just what you have in your house, but once you use that up, are you going to be ready to grow your own food? What's the plan? Do you know somebody with a farm? If we're attacked in your area, you can't grow stuff outside. Can you grow stuff inside? Um, like there are just so many things that we need to really be considering in this hour, and I don't see Black people serious about it, and it is making me not nervous. I'm really nervous about it because for whatever reason we always think it's somebody else's responsibility to take care of us, and what we're going to learn during this war and this transition, the great reset, new world, or whatever you want to call it, is that you're not going to have anybody. If you didn't plan and you didn't count on yourself, you're going to die. If you have children and you did not prepare, you're going to be in a bad way. If y'all have been getting extra food stamps and extra unemployment benefits and you did not put anything back, that is what that money was for. It won't be coming anymore. There will not be any more money to get. America is getting ready to collapse. There will not be no extra money. There will not be nothing. You have bread lines and food rations and you're going to starve. So if you did not do anything with that, I feel bad for you, and I just feel bad for you. Um, People gonna be struggling, and I don't understand why people don't listen. I don't understand why Black people who have the least don't listen. We don't have any place to flee. You can't go to another country. Nobody's offering us asylum. Nobody's saying, hey, we're going to take these refugees. And if they do, they want you to be slaves and they'll treat you like second-class citizens. You can stay here and for that. There's no need to go no place else. No, I know the devils that I live with. So I'm not going no place else unless it's to a Black country, like in the Caribbean. And even then, there's a lot of them are still under colonial control. So I might as well stay here in America. It's my 2 cents and fight. So we need to really be considering that this is going to impact us. I'm not saying that you have to care. I don't care what's happening over there. To me, it's white people fighting white people about and talking about white people shit. This power and control, dominance. I want land. I'm gonna take it. I want this, and I'm gonna kill people in the process so I can have what I want. Like it's just more another level of colonialism, except for these two powers have nuclear weapons. And in the process of their fighting and bickering, we, individual people, citizens, are going to be the collateral damage. Are you prepared to be collateral damage? Are you prepared to move if your house is damaged? Are you prepared to move or sit still if your area is close to a major city or you live in a major city and you are bombed? Or a nuclear weapon, explodes in your area and radiation is in the air. Are you prepared to stay indoors with, is your house ready? Do you even know what happens when you're exposed to nuclear radiation? Have you figured that out? Do you know people in the military who can tell you, what to do? Do you have things in your house that you can, use to take care of yourself to prevent you from being sick or being exposed? Do you have things to cover your vents and cover your windows? Like, I don't even really know where else to start except for if you have not prepped, I don't know if you can prepare for this. And, if you think that Russia's just going to sit down and cower and you don't know those type of strong people. You don't know the spirit and the energy those people have. So I want us to get ourselves together. There's a lot of stuff going on. People having a lot of unnecessary conversations. You know, I feel for our cousins in Ukraine and in Europe in general because I don't feel like I feel like Black people need to be where Black people at. Stop running every place else because at the end of the day, as soon as white people have used you up, they don't want you no more. And as you can see in Europe, you know, even if it's good white people around, who feel sorry for those Africans, they ain't saying nothing. They're not standing up. They're cowards. And I don't care if you watching this and you get upset, you're in your feelings. Go look at the videos. Go look and see who is standing up for the Africans when you're surrounded by a bunch of white people. And the mean, bad ones, cruel ones, evil ones are saying, no, you can't come because you're black. No, you're not one of us. You don't ever see any of those good white people standing up and saying, hey, don't do that. Hey, you know, and I'm not just talking about when you don't have nothing to lose, like you sitting in Starbucks, you see something. I'm talking about in war. I'm talking about when resources are on the line. I'm talking about when it's a matter of life and death. When you see it's a matter of life and death, you see all the white people get on cold and you see black people standing around looking stupid in the sea of white. You don't have no business putting yourself in that type of situation right now. And so black people really need to have a come to Jesus meeting with themselves. And, for those who still think, you know, um, they're going to be able to do business as usual, it's not going to be business as usual no more. People are becoming tribal. If you think your tribe is white supremacy, you're going to learn quick if you black, your tribe is not white supremacy. And if you don't have a built up tribe where you are, you're going to be alone. And you probably are going to end up being harmed because you're going to be an easy target for somebody who doesn't mean you any good. So um, the only thing I can say is people, you need to prep. You need to be concerned. You need to watch what's going on in the news. Um, don't waste money that you don't have to waste. I know people are like, oh, springtime is coming. I need to go. I'm going to plan a trip. We are in World War III. I don't know what the hell is wrong with black people, but I'm going to need y'all to get your minds right. This is no time to just buy the next pair of Jordans because you can't eat those if something happens to you. You can't wear those to chop boots. You can, but you're going to be sick because you spent so much money on something so frivolous and now you can't do nothing with it. You might be able to barter with it, but who's going to want a pair of Jordans when you don't have food in your house, when you don't have lights, when you need charcoal to cook outside on the grill, or you need gas for your car? You know, make wise choices. Purchase things that you need. It is not a time to be buying frivolous stuff and wasting money on wants. Because at the drop of a dime, you could get a notification on your phone that says, we are, you know, code red. It's time to be in your house. We have a national state of an emergency, or, it could be martial law. You got to stay in your house. And, this thing is getting ready to happen. You could not get any notice because, we live in a time where people don't like to tell you the truth because they just don't like to tell you the truth. So are you going to continue to act like we are living in normal times, or are you going to prepare? Um, it's a lot of people saying the same thing, and those of us on the same vibration, we got it. Something is getting ready to happen. We've been preaching it for years and years and years. Some people have been preaching it a lot longer. I haven't been preaching it uh, as long because I haven't had a public presence. But since I moved to Florida and I moved here in 2012, I've been preparing because I live in a hurricane zone. So I'm always prepared for something bad to happen. But I'm prepared for World War III. I'm prepared for food shortages. I'm prepared to stay in my house in case our area is hit by a nuclear weapon. Um, I got stuff growing outside in case I don't have money to buy food because I can't work, because I don't know if I'm going to have a job. I'm an independent contractor, so I may or may not be able to work. If I don't have internet, I can't work. So if I don't have internet, I ain't going to be working, but I'm going to be outside growing some tomatoes and greens and Swiss chard and spinach and whatever else I can grow so that I can have food. Have you done that? And if you haven't, you should start. So go to the store, get your stuff to start your little garden, even if you got to start it container garden. Do something. Buy your dry goods. Get your canned goods. I'm gonna put some stuff in the descriptions, in the description section for you to use checklists. But if you haven't done anything by now, you're late, and it may be too late. But do something. Don't just sit around and expect to be told this thing is getting ready to happen, because it's happening now. You can watch TV and you see wars happening in Ukraine. You see everybody is trying to keep this man from using his nuclear weapons. Once they are dispatched, it is World War III officially. And nobody's going to tell you. America's not going to tell us when the war happens. The war has already happened. The man is telling you he don't like us. And he's made it clear. He is going to do something to us. And we, the American people, are going to feel it. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, he didn't actually say that. Don't nobody have this. This is war. The journalists are not going to tell you the truth. Mainstream media won't tell you the truth. Everybody has propaganda. You know, Russia has propaganda. Ukraine got propaganda. America got propaganda. Everybody got propaganda. So you got to sift through the BS to get to the truth. And I'm just telling you, we are all hostages in this system of white supremacy. And some of us have more power than others. Black people don't have any power. We don't have nothing. The people who are in Africa and in black countries, at least you have land, at least you have something. But because of colonization and the way that these global systems are set up, a lot of times people don't have what they need in their own countries. And so, as some of these countries rely on imports, like Barbados, for instance. I love Barbados, but 90% of what their food is imported. If we have a food shortage or something, like those people are going to starve. It's not a whole lot of people on that island, but it's going to be a problem. And so it can happen here in our communities. If you live in a food desert, you could have a problem. So if you can, get in your car and go someplace and get food. Don't just rely on what you have in your community. Go to a bigger city, um, stock up, get what you need, order stuff online. But I wouldn't rely on stuff online right now, because the mail is running slow. If companies are hit, it could delay what you order, and then you could not get what you need. So you need to be able to go out and get stuff that you can put in your hand. Go to the hardware stores, get what you need for your house. You should have shovels, knives, tools, get extra ammo. You need to fill up your cars with gas. You should have extra gas cans, for fuel in case you have to get on the road and you get stuck. Um, where are you going if you need to evacuate? Have you talked to friends? Have you asked people, hey, can I stay at your house if I need to? Or have you talked to your parents? You got people that you need to check on? Like, start having these conversations, because when it happens, it's gonna happen fast, and you don't want to be caught out there um, with nothing, because nobody's coming to save you. And if you black, no, definitely nobody's coming to save you. You're going to be last to get everything. You're going to be the last to have resources. You will be the last to have food. You're going to be the last everything, because the plan is to get rid of us, as many of us as they can. So whoever can survive, the dominant society is happy you can't survive. They want you to die, because they're trying to whiten up. We the resistance. We keeping the world from being white. So if you can't survive, nobody's going to care. They're going to be happy you can't survive. And I'm trying to live, because I don't want them to be happy. It's my philosophy. I can't be happy. Ain't nobody going to be happy. I'm going to be right here making you miserable every day. That's what I'm doing. So get your plan, get your things together. I don't want anything to happen to anybody, especially not children. And because children belong to stupid parents, a lot of children are going to suffer because their parents don't believe, or their parents didn't prepare, or their parents just, you know, take life for granted. I don't know. But prepare people, because we need to be concerned, because we don't have anybody else that's going to do anything for us, because we are last on everybody's list and we have fewer resources than everybody else. Um, and again, pay attention to what happened in Ukraine. You see, when it was time to escape, nobody was trying to help those people. Don't have money. The monetary system shut down. You can't go any place. You just stuck. Don't be that person because everybody's gonna be looking at you like you're crazy, and nobody's gonna feel sorry for you because people have been warning this is coming and you didn't pay attention. So it's really hard to feel sorry for people who don't listen. And that's where I am. So I always tell people I'm gonna preach till I can't preach anymore. And I'm getting to the point where I can't preach anymore. When the internet goes out, I don't have no more messages. I'm gonna be surviving. When the power goes out, I can't talk to you no more because I'm gonna be trying to survive. When the nuclear power, I'm sorry, not nuclear power, when the nuclear bomb is dropped, or who's do the bad or decide he gonna do something, we gotta be trying to figure out how to survive. So I don't have time to be coming out giving pep rally messages. And if you have questions, um, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm gonna try to do a video um, maybe this weekend, if nothing happens, of things that I have in the garage that you should have ready. I did another video earlier, and I didn't really have to do a lot of stuff. Um, and part of the reason is because I work, so I don't have time to collect all this stuff. But get your big bags of dry beans, instant potatoes. If you like coffee, get a lot of coffee. Get a tea kettle that you can put on, any surface. Figure out how you're gonna live. Get a barbecue grill that you can use wood or charcoal with. Don't be getting that gas stuff because, as you can see, we already have wars over gas and natural resources. So you want to try to not have to rely on anything that is going to be involved in this war, that can be sold or exchanged and held over somebody's head, because again, we're going to be collateral damage, and anything that they can use to you know starve us, kill us, deprive us of, to bend the wills of nations, they will use that. And so don't be caught slipping is all I'm gonna say. um, have a way to be able to take care of your family and survive no matter what. Learn how to survive. Order you some survival magazines and books. There's plenty of prep websites out there. People got free information. Just all you got to do is go look at it and read it. Pick what you need and don't use what you don't need. But do something, because you cannot rely on anybody to save you. It's up to you to save you. So that's my message. I just wanted to come and say, we should be concerned. And I'm just not pulling it out of my butt this time. My sister, who is retired military, and you know, a couple of friends who I know that are in the military. Some of them are young, went to school with my sons and are in the military, are officers. And they said, yes, we need to be worried. They're all black. And, I've never been in a situation before, so I'm concerned. And I just wanted to come out and let you know um, that it's time to be concerned and it's time to prepare. So keep preparing and help who you can help. And last but not least, let me say this before I leave, before I end this video. If you've told people to prepare and they did not, don't let anybody just rely on you and your stuff for your family and your haven, because they didn't do what they were supposed to do, especially if you told them, and you told them more than one time. Don't let people use you. because you're gonna need everything that you prepare for. You're gonna need it. And you don't have anything to spare. You prepare for your family. You may have to prepare for extra people, but when you told somebody and you telling them because they have the resources at the time or whenever you advise them to do with it, to prep, and they don't prep, they didn't care about themselves, and that means you care more about those people than they cared about themselves. You cannot help those people. I'm not saying you cannot. I'm telling you, I'm not helping people who I warned and who didn't prep. They're not going to stress me out. They're not going to um, make things tough for me because I prepared and they didn't. They're not going to guilt trip me. They're not going to bully me. They're not going to make me feel bad. And, you might have a leg up if you have children. If you got some babies, I'm never going to let children starve. But a grown man or woman who I have advised and they did not do what they were supposed to do, I'm gonna just be like, I'm sorry, but I can't let you in my house. I'm sorry, but I cannot give you any rice. I'm sorry, I don't have anything to spare. I need everything I have. That is the attitude that you need to have when you're in survival mode. Because we don't know when we're gonna get over this hump. This could last a couple of years. It could last 14 months. We don't know. But when you start giving away your stuff to people who did not have the decency or respect for themselves to plan or prepare, you are putting your own self and your own family in danger because somebody else was ignorant and didn't care. So, release yourself from guilt and stress of worrying about people who don't care about themselves. Advise people and keep pushing because we are in an hour where at the drop of a dime, things can change for us. And as Black people, we don't have the resources that we need to sustain ourselves. We don't have the systems, we don't have the money, we don't have anything. So what I want you to do is just make sure you um, prepare. Just prepare. And, just be mindful that we living in some tumultuous times. We can't do this alone. It's going to take a village, but you want to have a village of people who have value. If people don't have value, you don't need those people. If people don't care about themselves, you don't need those people. If people are looking for you to take care of them, big grown adults who are capable of contributing and didn't try to do anything to prepare to help your group or circle get their stuff together, don't, you gotta let people go. And that's where we are. That's where I am, and I have peace with that. So when you do what you're supposed to do, be Noah. You build your ark, you stuff it with what you need to have in there. And when you close that door, keep your door closed. Float on, take care of what you need to take care of. And then when it's all said and done, you open the door and you start over. That's all we can do. So, um, I hope everybody is, just keep prepping. Don't stop, but um, help when you can help and keep pushing. Um, be concerned and be aware. That's what I got for y'all. So um, if I hear anything else, I will let you know. But definitely just pay attention because we are living in tumultuous times and we are in the midst of a World War III. And it's going to impact everybody. There's no need to think that you won't be impacted. You're going to be impacted. So just start preparing because it's coming. All right, good people. Don't forget to like the video. Please share the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you like this type of content, I'm going to probably be doing more stuff on prepping since we are there. And if anything else that is impacting current events is coming up, I will also speak on it, but I'm going to try not to waste a lot of time and energy on some of the other things that are going on because they are nothing more than distractions. So take care, people. I'm out.